Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a gear review on the Bluetti 500 watt power station. I thought the best way of explaining why I think this is a great little power station is getting into being a YouTuber and having done this now for almost 4 years, doing outdoor adventure YouTube videos for you guys. I thought I would show you what I use for my adventures. This is one of the cases that I take on most of my adventures. It's a waterproof backpack kit, and I thought I'd go through some of the things that I have in here and tell you why the Bluetti is perfect for charging all the YouTube devices that you need for a typical outdoor adventure channel, and kind of gear it toward that way. There are bigger power stations that you can buy. This is a 500 watt. There's I have a 1,000 watt Jackery. That's obviously twice the size of this. There's 1,800 watt power stations, and the sky's the limit on what you can get. But the issue is portability. The Bluetti has this really nice handle here that folds in, and it seems like a simple thing, but I really like it because it makes it so much easier to pack. It really, some of them have a molded handle that it kind of takes away from the ease or the efficiency of packing some of these things away. So this is a nice cube shape. And again, it has this nice flat spot here for wireless charging too. But I'll get into all the specifics later on in the video. I thought it'd be fun to go through my bag, show you what it can charge and how much wattage it draws. And not to get into too many specifics about these power stations, but if you're interested in buying one and you're trying to figure out what size you need and everything else, basically it's really simple. You plug in what you're going to be using. It shows you how much it's going to draw. Right now, this is the really nice display, by the way, on the Bluetti. But it's typical on these power stations. It tells you what the battery level is, tells you what your input is. So if I was charging it, if I had it plugged in, which the charging outlet is in the back actually. But if I was charging it, it would show what the input power is going in. If you had solar panels hooked up to it, that sort of thing. This does work with solar panels. I don't have the solar panels with this one. And then DC and AC, what is drawing, depending on what you have plugged in here. And again, I'll go through some of the things. If you're a YouTuber or anybody who's interested in one of these, here are some common devices and what they draw, and I think it'll be helpful for you. Okay, so here we go. So to start off, the camera that I'm using right now, and my main camera on my channel, is a Sony A7R III. That's what I'm filming this with, a Rode mic. I also have a little lav mic here as well. I'll kind of blend the clips together. Hopefully the sound will be okay for you. But the charger and the batteries for my Sony, I have 4 of these batteries. They actually last quite a while. It's a big reason why I chose the Sony. The A7R III had just come out. It was a big jump improvement from the A7 II. So the biggest thing, the big difference was battery life. So again, that's why I went with it. But anyways, I have 4 of these batteries. So generally I don't go through them on a trip. But if I did and I needed to charge them, I could bring this into here and I would plug it into the Bluetti, into the AC. And it really doesn't draw a lot of power. This one's almost charged all the way. But to charge one of these batteries, I have done this multiple times, and it doesn't even show that it's drawing power. So very small amount of energy being absorbed by the Sony batteries. So it would be very minimal if I needed to charge this with the Bluetti of the 500 watt stored energy in here. Charging my Sony camera would be very minimal. Next thing we go in here is, let's see, drone. It's just my camera bag. That's extra cameras. So next thing here that I use a lot on my channel is my drone. My drone is a Mavic Air. If you're not familiar with these, I kind of just show you just so you can kind of visualize it. So this is one of the, it's not the smallest, but it's one of the smaller DJI drones. So that's the one I use for all my videos. And the batteries do not charge with a USB. So that was the only drawback when I bought that drone. So I did buy extra batteries. I have a total of 7 drone batteries, and I've gotten better using them. When I first got my drone, I'm learning the ups and downs of it. I used to waste a lot of batteries just flying it and not knowing what I'm doing, but I've gotten quite a bit better with the drone. So I'm a little more efficient with it. But if I was on a long trip, or for some reason I needed to charge them, this is the charger. And again, it needs a AC outlet. So I'll put 4 batteries in here. Let's see here. This is my battery bag. Put a couple more drone batteries in here. So we got 4 drone batteries. It really only charges 1 at a time, but the holder carries 4. Charge it in there. And see what it draws. So we're charging the drone batteries. It's drawing about 13 watts an hour. Drone batteries actually charge fairly quickly, so that would draw a very minimal amount of energy out of your Bluetti. So again, it's fluctuating from 13 watts down to 12 watts. So it would not have a big effect on the Bluetti and what you'd be going through for a charge there. So charging drone batteries would not be a huge draw on the energy reserve of your Bluetti. I'll go through all of them individually, and then we'll plug them kind of all in together and see how it does all at once when it's charging things. So my backup camera is a RX100 Mark VI. It's a Sony, little compact point and shoot, but it's got a really powerful 200 zoom lens. Again, I bought it for a backup. I bought it for the actual screen. That my Sony screen doesn't kind of face you, so I do have this. I use it for videos sometimes and vlogging. It's not the best with audio, but it is a good little camera. So I'll plug this in and show you what this draws. This can be charged with a USB. So I'll show you how the USBs work. So that is charging, and that is drawing 3 watts an hour. And this is a has a small battery. It only lasts about 30 minutes on kind of the best case scenario, the battery charge. So I do find that I charge this camera on trips if I needed it, if I was using it a lot. I do have to charge it a lot, but again, it's really only drawing 3 watts an hour. So you're talking about 500 watts of power kind of stored in this. And between the drone batteries, the Sony batteries, we're still really just dealing with a trickle of energy we're drawing from there. Okay, so you got a YouTube channel. Chances are you're going to have a GoPro. I have a love-hate relationship with my GoPro. I have a GoPro 7. And, you know, the quality's good. It works great when it does work. I find them very finicky. This one, you know, you can tell to turn on, turn off. Terrible battery life when it's cold out. I don't know, these things. But anyways, you got to have them. They're kind of a necessary evil. So I'm going to plug this in and show you how it charges. Kind of unplug this one for now, DC. Okay, red light's on, so it's charging. So I just made sure I put in a dead battery for my GoPro, and batteries are pretty small, so it's charging, but it's not even showing a wattage on the Bluetti. So it's not even showing up as drawing any power on it at all. It is charging, I could tell. Again, it doesn't take a lot. So again, there's another example of how little these devices draw for power for something like this. Okay, so it is charging. It's not even showing. It's not even reading on the output for the DC. So again, more stuff in my bag would be drone chargers, little lights, but all this stuff I've tried it doesn't even show up as drawing any power on the Bluetti. So all this GoPro stuff that I really have here for my channel, it really draws a minimal amount from the Bluetti, and you could, you know, if you're traveling around in your van or whatever you're doing, as far as working on your YouTube channel and actually filming, creating content, this is a powerhouse and really would be all you need to charge up all your devices. The big thing is the laptop, and depending on what computer you have. So plug in my laptop just to give you, show you exactly how much of a difference that is. So let me get this bag out of here for us. Okay, I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's a couple years old. The battery life on it is not good, especially when I'm video editing. So I do charge it a lot. So one of the things with having these power stations is being able to use my laptop, because without these charging stations, using my laptop for much editing was pretty much impossible. Now I'm able to do it. Plug that into there. Okay, so now it's drawing about 80 watts an hour. If I was doing any video editing, you're looking at 5-6 hours of charge for the Bluetti to kind of run my laptop. So that is the biggest thing that really draws power with all my YouTube gear that I would use. I don't always bring my laptop, but now with my pickup truck camping adventures and eventually being in my trailer, when I get my off-grid trailer done, I'm going to be having my laptop and a monitor and that sort of thing. So when I do get that trailer done, I'm going to be using my Bluetti as well as some other batteries to run my trailer. So stay tuned to the channel for that and to see how that progresses. But the big difference with this really is charging laptops and other devices like that draw a little more power. So all the peripheral devices, the drones, the cameras, GoPros, all those small batteries, they really are not going to have a big effect on the draw from your Bluetti. When you step up to a laptop, that's when you have to gauge how much energy do you really need, how much do you plan on using your laptop to do any editing based on using your power station for that, right? My iPhone's just about dying on me, so I put it on the charger and it draws just under 10 watts an hour. So you know, I think a lot of people literally just use their iPhone or a cell phone these days to film their YouTube videos. The quality's amazing. It's improved so much from when I started mine. I think my first video I filmed it on my iPhone 5, and you know, they've come a long way. So the wireless charging, which is very handy if you got the iWatch or whatever else, throw it on top of there, and an iPhone will draw just under 10 watts an hour. And another example of something that you can use this Bluetti for. Again, really like the wireless charging pad there, the way it's designed, and that's just an example of some of the draws of the devices that I use on my YouTube channel. And now we'll get into kind of some of the specs, and hopefully you get something out of this. I really am impressed with the way this Bluetti is designed. It works really well, and I've found it's held up to all the specs and claims that the company says it does. So at the back of the Bluetti, you actually plug in your charger in the back. And one of the nicest things about this that I like is the light. It's a practical light that actually would light up an area almost like a floodlight. For example, my Jackery 1000 has a light on the side, but it's more of a spotlight, almost as if you would use it as a flashlight. This to me is more practical, where you would put on a picnic table, maybe you need to do some work on something, and it floods the area nicely. So it's actually a practical light that you would actually use, whereas for example, the spotlight on my Jackery 1000, I've never used it and probably never would. This would be something I generally would use this light for. Hit it 3 times, it's got a couple different settings. And so you have your fans on the side, fans there, fan on that side. To me, it's a nice size where 13 pounds, it's compact enough where you can take it, walk it to the beach, take it to some campsites that may be bigger generator would be a little more cumbersome. So here's an example of some of the things the Bluetti will charge and how long it'll charge it for. So a CPAP machine, which is becoming more common, and it's almost been a hindrance for some people who rely on it, where they're hesitant to get out into the outdoors and do camping and that sort of thing. Last year, my brother-in-law was able to come camping with us because I had my Jackery, and he was able to bring a CPAP machine, and you know, we ran it during our trip, and there was no problems, and he loved it, right? So the Bluetti will also power a CPAP machine, and a 40-watt CPAP will run for about 17 hours on a full charge. Fans, a standard pedestal rotating house fan, a 12-watt fan will go for about 36 hours. Your TV, a 60-watt TV, will run for about 7 hours. A laptop, drawing about 50 watts an hour will last about 8.5 hours. You'll be able to use your laptop for about that long. A mini fridge drawing 60 watts will get about 7 hours of a charge for that. Smartphone, a 10-watt charge will charge a smartphone 42 times on one charge of the Bluetti. And drone, which is great for me now that I have these power stations, I can charge my drone batteries 18 times for a drone. So that is some of the specs on what this will charge. So Bluetti has improved its product with a safety guarantee. There's voltage control built in, temperature control, short circuit protection, and overpower protection. So battery management system in here enables voltage and current control, temperature control, and more advanced safety features. And it has a cycle life of over 1,000 charges. So that's going to wrap up my review of the Bluetti AC50S power station. Realistically, this is all anyone is going to need for a weekend trip away. Take this in your car, throw in the back of your truck. It's going to power anything that you're going to need for a short camping trip. It really is a very powerful power station for its size, very convenient, and again, I love the wireless charging for your cell phones and smartphones and that sort of thing, and it frees up all these other outlets for other devices that you can use. The handle, I really like how that works. It's strong, it's very durable setup. So I like how the handle folds away, and again, it makes it easier, I find, to pack and store these things instead of having a handle on top. So yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy using this for my trips. So far so good, really happy with it, and hopefully this helps you decide what power station is right for you. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, cheers.